Let me ask you something important. You spent more than 12 years in school. You learned math. You learned history. You learned formulas you've probably never used again. But no one ever taught you how money actually works, how debt traps people, how to build wealth, how taxes really affect your income, or how to avoid staying broke your entire life. And here's the uncomfortable truth. It wasn't an accident. In fact, there are specific reasons why school never taught you about money, and once you understand them, you'll never see the system the same way again. Stay until the end, because the final reason explains why most people work their entire lives and still struggle financially, even though they did everything right. Let's begin. Section 1. School trains employees, not owners. School was designed with one main objective: to prepare you to be a good worker. Think about it. Sit quietly, follow instructions, memorize information, ask permission, obey schedules, wait for approval. These are not the habits of entrepreneurs or investors. These are the habits of employees. School teaches you how to earn a salary, not how to make money work for you. They teach you how to pass tests, how to meet deadlines, how to follow rules. But they never teach you how to create income, how to build assets, how to think independently about money. Because a system built on employees needs employees to survive. And this leads to the next reason. SECTION2 Financial literacy creates independence. Financial education gives people options. And people with options are harder to control. If everyone understood how interest really works, how banks profit from debt, how investing compounds over time, how businesses generate cash flow, fewer people would accept low pay, toxic jobs, or financial stress as normal. Schools don't teach money because financially educated people question the system. They don't blindly follow advice. They don't depend on credit to survive. They don't live paycheck to paycheck. And systems don't like people who question, but the real problem goes even deeper. Section 3. Teachers were never taught about money either. Here's something most people never realize. Teachers were never taught about money themselves. Most teachers were trained academically, followed a traditional career path, rely on a salary and retirement system, never built businesses or investments. So how can someone teach what they never learned? This isn't about blaming teachers. It's about recognizing the limitation of the system. You can't expect schools to teach investing, wealth building, entrepreneurship, financial psychology, when the system itself doesn't understand it. And this creates a cycle. Section 4. Money is psychological, not just mathematical. School treats money like a math problem, but money is not math. Money is behavior. Money is emotion. Money is psychology. People don't stay broke because they can't do math. They stay broke because of emotional spending, fear-based decisions, instant gratification, lack of self-control, social pressure. Schools never teach how dopamine affects spending, how emotions drive debt, how mindset shapes income, how beliefs limit financial growth. Yet these are the real drivers of financial success or failure. And this leads to the most dangerous gap. Section 5. A school avoids topics that expose the system. There are topics schools intentionally avoid, like how banks make money from interest, how credit card minimum payments trap people, how inflation silently steals purchasing power, how taxes are structured, how debt fuels the economy. Because once you understand these things, you stop playing the game blindly. You stop asking, how do I earn more? And start asking, how do I keep, grow, and protect what I earn? That question alone changes everything. But there's still one final reason. Section 6. Financial education creates responsibility. Teaching money means teaching responsibility. It means teaching delayed gratification, long-term thinking, discipline, personal accountability, and responsibility is uncomfortable. It's easier to blame the economy, the government, your boss, your parents, the system. Financial education removes excuses. And a system built on excuses doesn't benefit from people who take full control of their finances. Which brings us to the final truth. Section 7. You were meant to learn this later on your own. School didn't teach you about money because it assumed you'd never need to know. The system expects most people to work, spend, borrow, repeat, and retire dependent. But the moment you start learning about money on your own, something changes. You stop being just a worker. You become a thinker, a planner, a builder. And here's the powerful part. You don't need permission to learn this. You don't need school. You don't need approval. Everything you need to change your financial future is available once you decide to take responsibility. Section 8. The economy needs consumers, not investors. Here's a truth most people never hear. The economy runs on consumption, not financial intelligence. If everyone were financially educated, fewer people would overspend, fewer would rely on credit, fewer would chase status purchases, fewer would stay trapped in debt. But consumption fuels corporate profits, bank interest, government taxes, endless economic growth. Schools prepare you to consume responsibly, not to invest aggressively. You're taught how to earn money, but never how to own pieces of the system that takes it from you. And once you see this, you start asking dangerous questions. Section 9. Debt is normalized on purpose. School never taught you about money, but it did normalize debt, student loans, car payments, mortgages, credit cards. Debt is presented as normal, necessary, part of adulthood. But no one explains how interest compounds against you, how long-term debt limits freedom, how monthly payments steal future options. If schools taught you the real cost of debt, in time, stress, and lost opportunities, many people would never sign those contracts, and that would break the cycle. Section 10. Financial education delays obedience. A financially educated person is harder to rush. They don't panic dash by ... They don't accept bad offers. They don't jump into debt impulsively. They don't trade freedom for comfort. But systems rely on urgency, by now, limited time. Act fast, don't miss out. Schools train urgency through deadlines and pressure, not patience through long-term planning. Because patience creates leverage, and leverage creates independence. Underscore. Section 11. Schools reward certainty. Money requires uncertainty. In school, there is one right answer, one correct method, one approved solution. But money doesn't work like that. Wealth requires calculated risk, uncertainty, trial and error, failure, adaptation. Schools punish mistakes. Money rewards learning from them. So instead of teaching how to take smart risks, schools teach how to avoid mistakes. And avoiding mistakes might make you a good student, but it rarely makes you wealthy. Section 12. Time was taught, but not opportunity cost. School teaches you how to manage time, but it never teaches you opportunity cost. The most powerful concept in money, opportunity cost, asks, what am I giving up by choosing this? Every hour spent, every dollar spent, every decision made has a hidden cost. People stay broke not because they waste money, but because they waste opportunities. And opportunity cost exposes that truth clearly. That's why it's rarely taught. Underscore. Section 13. Financial literacy changes identity. Once you learn about money, you don't just change habits. You change identity. You stop saying, I can't afford it, and start asking, how can I make this work without hurting my future? That shift scares systems. Because identity-driven people are harder to manipulate. Schools focus on knowledge. Money requires self-awareness. And self-aware people don't stay trapped for long. Underscore. Section 14. The missing lesson was always responsibility. In the end, the biggest reason school never taught you about money is this. Money forces you to take full responsibility for your life. No teacher to blame. No test to retake. No system to hide behind. Just your choices, your discipline, your priorities, and that level of responsibility was never part of traditional education, but now it's part of yours. Section 15. Money education makes you harder to replace. Here's something rarely discussed. When you understand money, you're not desperate. You don't cling to one income. You don't fear job loss the same way. You negotiate from strength. That makes you harder to control and harder to replace. Systems prefer people who need the paycheck, fear uncertainty, depend on stability, avoid risk at all costs. Financial knowledge removes that fear, and fearless people don't accept unfair systems quietly. Section 16. School taught security, not freedom. School teaches you to chase security. A stable job, predictable income. Fixed routine, guaranteed paycheck. But security is fragile. One recession, one layoff, one crisis. Freedom, on the other hand, comes from multiple income streams, skills that transfer, ownership, adaptability. Money education focuses on freedom. School focuses on stability. And stability keeps people compliant. Section 17, the good student trap. Many people did everything right. Good grades, good behavior, good degree, good job. Yet they still struggle financially. Why? Because being a good student doesn't teach you how to negotiate salary, how to price your value, how to leverage skills, how to create leverage instead of effort. School rewards obedience, money rewards initiative. And that difference changes everything. Section 18, financial ignorance is expensive. Not knowing about money isn't neutral. It's expensive. It costs. Years of stress, thousands in interest. Missed investments, delayed freedom. But schools never show you the price of ignorance. They show grades, they show diplomas, they show certificates. They don't show the cost of financial mistakes. And without seeing the cost, people repeat the cycle. Section 19, real education begins with curiosity. The moment you started asking, why wasn't I taught this? You already stepped outside the system. Curiosity is dangerous to rigid structures because curiosity leads to learning independently, questioning authority, seeking alternatives, building your own path. Real financial education doesn't start in a classroom. It starts with one uncomfortable question. Section 20, you were never behind. Here's the most important truth. You're not late. You're not stupid. You're not bad with money. You were simply never taught. And once you understand that, shame disappears. All that remains is choice. You can keep repeating what most people do, or you can learn what most people never will. Now you know the truth. School didn't fail you accidentally. It prepared you for a role, not for freedom. But today, that changes, because financial education is no longer hidden. It's available to anyone willing to take responsibility. If you want to control your money or discover millionaire habits, please check the videos that appear at the side of the screen. If this video gave you clarity, subscribe to the channel. Here we talk about money, mindset, and freedom. The things school never taught you, and comment below. What is one financial lesson you wish you had learned earlier? Because the moment you write it, you take the first step toward changing your financial future. See you in the next video.